of fate.
This is the way. Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Tells me when you'll love this.
Hello, critics, non-critics, and friends. Welcome to the Film Optix podcast, where we take a glance into blockbusters, indie films, and everything in between. I'm your host, Christian, and I'm joined by my good friend / my co-host. And today we're here to give our spoiler-free thoughts and reflections on Solar Opposites. Season 3 is hitting Hulu on July 13th. Very, very excited. It is July 13th, I believe. Yeah. It is hitting Hulu on
2
July.
days.
2 days. I love it. I said that with such confidence. I'm like, wait, let me go back and check my notes. Yes, it is hitting July 13th. We're going to be giving our spoiler-free thoughts, as I said before. It should be a fun ride. We've been covering this series since its inception. Just coming off of our love of Rick and Morty and knowing that this spinoff show is happening, it's been pretty, it's been a lot of fun so far. One of those, kind of just turn your brain off, enjoy some fun, crazy adventures with some lovable aliens. And yeah, it's all good. But before we begin today's episode, you can listen to our podcast on podcast platforms around the internet. That includes Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and more. And if you are a new or seasoned listener to the show, we would love to hear from you guys. Follow us on Instagram and follow us on Twitter at FilmOptix, or email us at filmoptix@gmail.com for any movie-related questions. Devin, how has your week been so far? Happy Monday. Happy recording on a Monday.
First day back at work after a week off. It's always rough.
Yeah, it really is. I've done it twice within the past few months, and it feels like that week lasts forever. Like, you have all these things planned, and then you kind of just wake up and you're like, well, what do I do? It's kind of, I love having no agenda, just having like the day just take you to where, it's going to take you. So, there's no pressure.
That's exactly how it was.
That's amazing. That is the beautiful thing. And of course, it being your birthday week as well. That was pretty awesome. But yeah, so what you been watching lately? I know, so you finished Severance. Obviously, you finished Solar Opposites season 3.
Yeah.
Are you moving on to some Spectacular Spider-Man that's now streaming on Netflix?
I don't know about all that, but I'm on the brink of beating a Plague's Tale. I can sense it. I'm getting close. It's a really good time. It gets a lot better once all the science comes into play.
Yeah, definitely. When I beat it, I really didn't enjoy the story, but I'm really hoping that the sequel addresses a lot of the gameplay mechanics, at least I had on my side. But it looks like they addressed a lot of those issues. It's a very stealth heavy game, but I feel like there were times where it's like clearly they want you to act out and fight, but they want you to do it stealthily at the same time.
Yeah, there's not much fighting involved.
No, not at all. I actually stopped playing Horizon Forbidden West, picked that up, beat it, and then I'll probably go back to Forbidden West. But I've had that game since it launched, and I still haven't beaten it. I don't know why.
I think I might jump into Horizon Zero Dawn after this one. I picked it up on the PC during the Steam sale.
Oh, how much was it during the Steam sale?
It was like $20.
Was it really? How much was Spider-Man? Did you check?
It's not out yet on PC.
Oh, it's not that. Okay. God of War is out on PC.
I think it's this fall.
This fall.
Yeah.
Did you get God of War for PC?
I have not. I started on PS4 and it just, I don't know, I just didn't get into it. I know it's crazy.
It is a different playing style for sure, I will say. When you think of God of War, at least us oldies out there, when you think of God of War, it is the hack and slash adventures that we've had with Kratos. What was it, like 5 games? Like if you include like the PSP titles. But yeah, it's a good time. But yeah, for me, I've just been on the hunt for a new graphics card, so that's always fun. But Devin, are you ready? I feel like we've done enough chitter chatter. Are you ready to get into this spoiler-free review of Solar Opposites season 3?
Let's get back into this unnamed town until a name pops up at some point.
Yeah, I still don't know the name of this town, and it is driving me up the wall, which is, it's the third season, but hopefully they'll address it. We don't know. But, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back after this introduction to Solar Opposites Season 3.
Planet Schlorp was a perfect utopia until the asteroid hit. 100 adults and their replicants were issued a pupa and escaped into the space, searching for new homes on uninhabited worlds. We crashed on Earth, stranding us on an already overpopulated planet. That's right, I've been talking this whole time. I'm the one holding the pupa. My name's Corvo. This is my show. I just dropped the pupa. Do you see me? This is ridiculous. I hate Earth. It's a horrible home. And one of these days I'm gonna blow it up and just be done with the whole stupid thing. I swear to God.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. You just heard the introduction to Solar Opposites. Of course, as I mentioned before, this is the third season that is streaming on Hulu on July 13th. So we're very excited to dive back into this world. I didn't know that a lot of shows, they usually don't get to number 3. And if they do, you kind of have to pray that it gets to 4th, because that's usually when series start to kind of like find their identity. But of course, this series coming off of the success of Rick and Morty, of course, it's the humor is always there, but a lot of crazy, wacky, fun adventures this time around. So, ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned before, this is our spoiler-free review. So we are going to give our initial reactions. We'll talk about a few Easter eggs along the way, and then we'll get into our final thoughts and then our ratings and, kind of peace on out of here. So I'm going to turn it over to Devin so he can give his initial reactions. Then I'll give mine, and then we'll kind of just go from there.
Yeah, I'd say overall it's definitely a mixed bag as far as episode to episode. Overall, like as a whole, it's definitely enjoyable to watch, just like both the first 2 seasons, where, like you said, you just turn your brain off and you just watch an entertaining show where aliens are on Earth just doing wacky alien things. Mm-hmm. I think this season they did a good job of trying to make not only the wall people but also the aliens more serialized and episodic, where storylines carry over from episode to episode more often for the aliens this season. I was watching a video with Justin Roiland where he mentioned that being a big emphasis for this season, where they kind of transfer over the wall being not the only serialized part of the show, where the aliens also are, which is a good, I think it's a good change of pace for season 3. Give us something new to look forward to. And there's definitely some payoffs at the end, where stuff that is established in the beginning gets a couple episodes at the end where there's a big payoff, and it's definitely entertaining. Definitely some Green Lantern vibes, some Silver Surfer vibes at the end.
I was dying during that. But yes, as far as my initial reactions go, they pretty much echo Devin's. I do agree that within the past 2 seasons, well, at least the first 2 seasons, I should say, the only part of the show that has felt serialized is the wall. And then, you have the aliens, Corvo and Terry and Yumulak. And the rest, they kind of just have their crazy, wacky adventures. I do like how this season is more serialized. Like you said, Devin, there are a lot of story threads within this season that kind of just, that pay off later on down the road. There's 11 episodes here to kind of just go through. And it's some crazy, crazy stuff, especially between episode 2 and 3. I died of laughter. Like 2, 3, and 4 were definitely very strong for me. I think the weakest episode of this season was probably episode 5, but then it starts to pick back up. Especially with episode 6, you start to understand whatever happened to the other Schlorps on the other 99. Yeah, that was a really, really good one. So it really, it takes these like crazy little detours, but they're not bad detours because, like you said, there's at least like 3 to 4 storylines that kind of are interwoven within this series, or at least this season, that I really enjoyed. Episode 10 was a big one for sure.
Yeah, I think 10 was probably the standout.
Yeah, it was insane. I absolutely loved it because it was just you get the episodes where Terry and Corvo and the rest of the gang are there, but it's they go on some kind of random trip, and then like, okay, let's focus on the wall, and then there's another storyline that they've kind of interwoven into this season that I really enjoyed. And I thought it was just a great change of pace for sure. I hope it gets greenlit for season 2. I mean, not season 2. I hope it gets greenlit for season 4. Overall, but yeah, it's some great stuff. A lot of like just fun Easter eggs. Like Devin said, it is one of those you kind of just turn your brain off for a bit. But, you're still invested. You still like watching, these aliens trying to get home, and, they're trying to terraform the pupa into, taking over the world. And,
we finally get some more background onto what the aliens, their actual roles are. I think that was in the 99 Ships episode, or it might have been before that, but we get to kind of see what their actual roles are, what they're supposed to be doing and failing at on Earth.
I think that was actually the very first episode.
Yeah, it was one of them.
Yeah.
But I really liked I feel like episode 1 through 6, I really just breezed through those. Like they were very enjoyable. And for whatever reason today, I was just wrapping it up. 7 through 9, it was just felt kind of hard to get through. I don't know what it was, but just found myself kind of dazing off at those 3 specifically. But then 10 and 11 picked back up. So it ended off on a nice note. 11 episodes, a very strange amount. Usually you get in that 7, 8, 9, 10 area, but then 11, just kind of throw another one in there for you. Yeah,
I mean, it's a nice little added bonus. The same thing was happening to me, but I feel like that was just me trying to binge these, because I had watched like a few one day. Then I think pretty much all of Saturday I binged. I think it was episodes like 3 onward.
Yeah, I kind of split it half and half, like the first 6 and then the last 5 today.
So, because I kind of had to, I was doing things in between, but even while watching Severance, which I'm watching right now on Apple TV Plus, I'm 3 episodes in, and I am enjoying it a lot. But I think it's just the binging thing. When it comes to, I feel myself being very exhausted, and then things start to blend together, more so than not. And I feel like that can easily happen with a show like Solar Opposites. I'm not saying that. I believe all 11 episodes are dropping on July 13th, which is understandable. But hopefully, maybe if they get big enough, they can drop them weekly like Rick and Morty, where it is just a fun little like 22 to 24 minute adventure that we can that we can kind of just consume and then move on to the next week. I'm hoping that they do that, because I believe Hulu also, well, they didn't do it for this show, not for weekly, but they did it for the How I Met Your Father. And iCarly on Paramount Plus does the exact same thing, where at first, you feel like it's a bit silly because, again, these sitcoms, and Solar Opposites is also a sitcom in its own kooky way. But I like that the weekly, when it comes to even the smaller episodes, because like if you're waiting to do something, or kind of just waiting for the time to pass, you can sit down and watch like a quick 24-minute episode and be like, okay, cool, I really enjoyed this week's episode. Then you wait for next week. So I hope that they do become weekly, because a show like this is really fun just to kind of talk about. Granted, there's not like a super deep storyline like there is in Rick and Morty, but I really do enjoy it.
Yeah, I'd like to hear what maybe Justin Roiland and the creative team would think about it being watched all at once or weekly. I wonder if they have an opinion on what they would prefer. But obviously, they really enjoy being on Hulu, because they sure like to mention Hulu quite a bit. The Hulu Land episode was pretty funny.
The Hulu Land episode was fantastic. It's just the Solar Opposites are going to Hulu Land. What is Hulu Land? We can't tell you. You got to watch.
And they love Lexus.
Yes. Yes, they do. Oh my gosh. It really has been a blast. But yeah, as far as when it comes to streaming, I really think Hulu gets overlooked sometimes. They have some really great stuff. I mean, even Only Murders in the Building, that's going on its 3rd season as well, which is great news.
Yeah, I just saw that today. I think I might give that a shot sometime soon. I haven't watched any of it.
My mom's been watching it, and she loves it.
It's a killer cast.
My mom has been juggling between the Only Murders in the Building, and she started watching Stranger Things for the first time. She's on season 1. She'll watch maybe an episode or 2 at a time because, she didn't realize that they're an hour long. I was like, what do you mean?
That's a commitment.
But she is enjoying it so far, but she's very frustrated that they cannot find Will.
Just wait. The Will frustrations will not end there.
She's like, why can they not find this child? I'm like, you gotta just keep watching, Mom. I don't know.
See, that's the difference in generations. Because I told my sister that she needs to watch it because she watched part of the first season but never got into it. But I was just like, listen, 3 and 4 is where things really pick up and get great. And then she binged it all before season 4 even came out, the second part. So that generation just powers right through it.
Yeah, they do. I mean, for us, I mean, we're kind of part of the binging culture because, I mean, you remember when Netflix first came to Xbox and that was a big game changer. They're like, oh my gosh, I can watch TV as on my Xbox. And then they became these crazy multimedia devices. And then, Hulu came out and, surprised us all. But Hulu's got a lot of bangers. Abbott Elementary as well. Hopefully we'll see something of that in the Emmys, either that or the Only Murders in the Building. I think Handmaid's Tale is still going on. I believe so. I've been meaning to watch that. I think they're on their 5th season. I think that's their staple, their flagship title.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Solar Opposites will not be a part of the Emmy nominations because as of this recording on July 11th, they do drop on July 12th, which is also Prime Day. So I don't know. Maybe we'll see a physical release of Solar Opposites. Hulu, if you're listening, make that happen because I'd definitely be down to buy it. It's just a fun little adventure. But I guess I'll go back over to you, Devin. Was there any Easter eggs or anything else you wanted to mention that we haven't gotten to as of yet?
I don't know if there's anything specifically I had, but I'm just hoping we'll get a season 4 because we're 3 for 3. Actually, I don't remember if I watched the holiday episode.
Oh, that's right. I was going to ask you if you did because we didn't review it on the show.
I don't remember if I did or not. It doesn't look familiar.
I did watch it. It was just a quick little. It was a standard episode. It wasn't like the Lego Star Wars.
Oh yeah, I do remember this now.
Yeah, that was pretty cool too. I mean, but that one they kind of shadow dropped that one. It kind of just came out of nowhere. But I was excited because I was hoping that they were going to get a season 3, which they did. So that's some really, really great stuff. But yeah, I mean, let's just get into final thoughts and our ratings for this episode, and we'll kind of just get on out of here. So Devin, what are your final thoughts, and what would you rate Solar Opposites season 3?
Yeah, I like what they're building towards, where there's a more serialized kind of storyline going throughout. It feels like this season, the wall storyline and the alien storyline kind of flipped in quality a little bit. The first 2 seasons we were like, wow, the wall is just amazing. That's where it's all at. But it feels like it switched over to the aliens for this season, which is a nice change of pace, a nice switch up, because it was nice to see that they can have their own little story going on. It's not just relying on the wall every episode. I feel like the wall it was okay this season. It wasn't as strong as the first 2 seasons, but yeah, overall, let's just hope for season 4. Like I said, 1 through 6 really enjoyed. 7 through 9 hit a bit of a lull for me, but then 10 was really strong, probably the standout, and it didn't even involve any of our aliens or wall people, so just kind of a one-off, but it was really entertaining. And then the finale was pretty good too. The ending was a bit interesting. I guess we'll see where it goes once season 4 comes out, hopefully. But overall, I'd give it, I don't remember what I gave the first 2 seasons, but like I said, it kind of blends together, just especially because of just the nature of the show, where there is not much of a storyline or a plot where you're just kind of watching just to be entertained. So it's kind of hard to even compare the seasons, but I'd probably give it around like a 78. Like I said, there's a few episodes in there that I kind of just glossed over, but overall it's just a fun watch.
So for me, I do agree. It's just the only issue I've ever had with this show is that it's not that it's too samey. It's just like you said, Devin, you know, a lot of the episodes do start to blend together. And I think that is part of this is part of the nature of the show. Cause I mean, when I watch like, I don't know, even Community, like, I mean, I've rewatched that show so many times, or even like The Office, like there's a lot of great episodes. But like a lot of the episodes in between are kind of just like background noise. Like they're still good. It's just, yeah. I think it's part of the binging mode kind of taking over, where everything kind of just fuses together. And it, you know, we have the episode lists of at least the synopsis of each episode of what happens. But I mean, things are starting to come back to mind. It's just, yeah. Binging it all at once. I mean, you can go ahead and do it if you want, you know, anyone out there who is listening, but it is it's just kind of a tall task, even for a show that is at least, you know, 22 to 24 minutes long. You know, but overall, I really do enjoy this series. You know, obviously we've this is the third season that we've covered here on the show, so clearly we are enjoying it to some extent. But I would give it like a solid, just like an 81 altogether. You know, like there are issues like we've kind of already talked about, just a lot of the episodes blending together. Hopefully, maybe they'll release them in like chunks next time, or maybe on a weekly basis. But then again, I feel like the show is still so new that, you know, it is kind of not riding off the success, but it's piggybacking off of Rick and Morty, where, you know, it's trying to find its own identity. And I'm still waiting on the Rick and Morty and Solar Opposites crossover.
Justin Roiland actually got asked about that in the video I was watching, and he said he doesn't know because it's two different networks, two different studios that make these shows. So it's just kind of up in the air. Like it could happen, but who knows?
Yeah, because oh my gosh, Rick and Morty is Warner Brothers, I believe. Yeah, and this is Hulu. So yeah, I mean, hey, I mean Disney's paying them the big bucks, I imagine, but the hopefully we'll get that amazing fight sequence that they've been teasing since season 2. But yeah, so let's get on out of here, Devin. Anyone out there, if you haven't watched any of Solar Opposites, just do it. It's such a great time. You know, it doesn't try to like challenge your brain like some people feel like with like Rick and Morty and whatnot, but it's just such a great time. So that pretty much concludes our Solar Opposites season 3 review. And ladies and gentlemen out there, we ask this each and every episode, but if you've liked what you've heard on today's episode, please subscribe to our podcast on your favorite podcast platform of choice. That includes Apple Podcasts or Spotify, you know, Audible, some iHeartRadio, all that jazz. And always make sure to share an episode of our podcast with a friend, whether it be your mother, your brother, your lover, whoever it may be. Make sure to share an episode of the Film Optix podcast with a movie lover in need. And with that out of the way, really quick, what's coming up on the podcast, you might ask? As of this recording, our Thor Love and Thunder review is out now, as well as our Umbrella Academy season 3 review that is spoiler free, as well as our The Boys season 3 episodes 4 through 8, because the finale just dropped. And if you're a big Stranger Things fan, as we talked about before, you know, head up our Stranger Things volume 1 and 2 reviews that are both out now for you guys to listen to. So we have a lot of fun things coming up. You know, we got some Miss Marvel finales coming up for you guys, as well as we're doing the Emmys. Oh my gosh, the Emmy nominations are coming up. We might do a little cover of the Emmy nominations for there. It's some very interesting things happening with Stranger Things. I'll let you know about later on. But with all that out of the way, we hope you guys have a great day, and we'll see you guys later on. And that is a wrap for today. Thank you all for listening. If you enjoy the show, leave us a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And follow us on Twitter and Instagram to stay in the know. That was Devin. My name is Christian, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Peace.